What's good? What's good? Welcome to Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine.
And I'm still James.
And we have an epic movie review for y'all today. We are reviewing BlIss. This was a Amazon Prime movie with, I'm about to call him Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek. We did a trailer reaction. Check that out. But the movie got released, and we watched it, and we're going to review it. But before we do that, we got an intro. All right, we have returned. Okay, so BlIss.
That's an entirely different movie.
BlIss, 2021 release from Amazon Prime. This movie, first of all, did you like this movie?
I don't know. Like I actually had to watch it twice.
You watched it twice?
I watched it twice.
Better man than me.
Like I was hunting down like Easter eggs, glitches, like trying to figure out if I missed any clues. But I still don't know if I enjoyed this movie or not.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Perfection.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Me, myself, I like some of it. Like I watching it, it's like I started to get into some of it, then it started to get away from what I was like, okay, this is not, and then I was like, okay. And then by the time the end came, I was like, I'm glad this is over. That was my feelings on this movie. And we're gonna get deep into the plot or whatever. So the plot, well, before we do that, let's watch the trailer so people can get an idea of what this movie is, people that haven't seen anything about it. So let's watch the trailer, then we'll be back with our review.
I have a picture in my head of a place. I don't know if it's real, but it has a feeling, and the feeling's real. Hi, my love.
Hi, Dad. I wanted to talk to you about my graduation.
I'm gonna be there in the bleachers. I'm gonna see you in your... Let me, how about I call you back?
Okay.
Taking the day off in here? The boss wants to see you.
Can I get a whiskey? Double.
You're real.
Sorry?
I want to tell you something really cool. You see all these people outside? They're not real. This is a simulation. You ready? There's my guy. Welcome home.
This place is overwhelming.
Dr. Isabel Clemens pioneered brain box simulations, ugly, simulated worlds to generate appreciation for the real world.
Why am I not remembering any of this?
Don't worry about it.
Drago!
Most people say ignorance is bliss. But I say you have to experience the good to appreciate the bad.
No, the other way around.
Exactly.
I'm glad I caught you. Word on the street that there have been problems with Isabel's research.
I'm a little disoriented.
You're my guy, Dad. Graduation.
I did not forget. It's been a crazy few days.
Graduated 2 weeks ago. Ignore her. She's not real.
She feels real. I'm scared.
Your head's not on straight.
It's almost like a trick being played.
Greg, this is really bad.
So how do we fix it?
One of these days, you're going to have to choose between these worlds.
It's amazing how easy humans can get used to even something spectacular.
Okay, it's BlIss. Oh, that came out last week. All right, Salma Hayek, Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson doing his thing as Owen Wilson. I am not a fan. He tends to get on my nerve. And he's so the same actor in everything he does.
You know, I feel like they picked him for this just because, like, he's the wonderment guy. You know, it's like it's like wow. You know?
And he don't drop that. You know,
No.
that's just his thing. And it's cool. It's just and looking at that nose is distracting. It's very like in your face.
Well, they
because,
decided to streamline it so the nose goes right into the hairline this time.
Well, anyway, so the movie, as you saw, is about. I guess it's in the near future, or probably far future, but they made a simulation of a world, and when you're in the world, it looks like, I guess, the world we're in now, maybe, or well, I want to say it's just the bad section, or just like extreme poverty, just things that's considered negative in our world now. Because would this be a spoiler telling exactly why they kind of did it in the trailer maybe, but I don't know. But my point is, they world is so good in the future that people don't know nothing bad. So she made a bad world so people can appreciate the good, because everybody just born into such a good world, basically.
Yeah. Which I kind of get. But like, you're going pretty far for the premise.
You know what? I get why, because you got to think in their world where we know things can be bad, but in their world they have no idea how things can be bad.
Well, like,
or maybe they could.
Or rather, it's a theoretical concept. It's not real to them.
Right. So I mean, I get why or whatever. It's just when they started working out the semantics of it. Once we saw this world, and then once we introduced to the Salma Hayek character, I forget her name. Do you know her name? It was
Isabel.
Clemens. Yeah, Isabel.
Clemens.
And once we get introduced to her character, right? So, first we get Owen Wilson character, and he's working in the office, and it's like he having a bad day or whatever. It's already kind of like what it's almost like when they say boss want to see you. I was like, man, he tried to find everything to do but go see his boss.
Yeah.
I was like, and I understand that, but he kept saying, oh yeah, I'm on my way out. Yeah, I'm just finishing up a call.
But even like he would just, no, I got it.
Right, he continue doing something else. I'm like, dude, I know you don't want to see the boss, but you cannot ignore your boss that much.
Right.
But anyway, then we get introduced to the Salma Hayek character, Isabel, and she just like, oh, that's not real. Doing this little hand gesture and all this stuff, and like, what? For the audience concerned, where we at, it's like, this is just what is she doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, because for the first, let's say, 15 minutes of the movie, there's no movie.
Right, well, it's played out of, nothing like a sci-fi. It's just what's going on with this character.
Yeah.
Where's his mindset?
And honestly, I wouldn't have minded watching that movie. But then it becomes the movie it wants to be.
Yeah. And then, so I'm saying, so they get Salma Hayek characters, and she got her accent is so strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of like a sexy thing, but then also, I think she was miscast.
Probably.
I mean,
Also,
she's still beautiful for her age, too. It's surprising. You forget how old she is.
Right. Also, she's very on in this movie.
Oh, you think? We're going to get into her later.
And I think this movie probably could have benefited from having someone who's better at the subtleties or nuances.
Yeah. Well, okay, so when I'm watching the movie, she's doing stuff, and she's keep telling the character, hey, that ain't real, just do that. This ain't real, just do that.
But like almost frantic about it too.
Yeah, I know. It get to the point where you like, okay, if you made this simulated world, you were the doctor, you made this simulated world, why are you telling people that it's simulated? That's to defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you know it's fake, the fact doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what are you doing here? Apparently, she put herself in the simulation for research.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, and you know, because they keep asking, like, is he real? Is he not real? So I guess it's people that's put in the world, and some people that's just computer programs.
Yeah.
In the world, apparently. That's why I said there's a similarity there with Matrix, where it was like they was trying to make a simulation for people, and they kept on going through different simulations because first it was too perfect, and then they had to add flaws. People kept rejecting the perfect world or whatever.
Yeah.
So
who knows? Maybe this is a spin-off to the Matrix.
It could have been. This could have been the prequel to how they came up. You know, how they came up with the Matrix. That would have been interesting because you know they got Matrix 4 coming out.
Yeah.
I was to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with that story. Can we just? I wouldn't mind.
Hey, look, we wrapped it up. Why do we need more? You know?
Right, I know. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done with that. But anyway, it was just funny when the character was like, you know, they ain't real, do that, and then she started doing stuff like, there's a lady in the walker. Oh, she ain't real. Man, do her, knock her down.
Teach her less. Like, she being judgmental right now. Teach her less.
Yeah, what?
Like, whoa. What? Like, okay, fine. They're not real. But this doesn't have to be GTA.
So, okay, right. So, apparently, you know, she can use, and what I didn't understand was why they have to take these crystals before they can do,
like,
things.
I think the crystals are supposed to be stand-ins for, like, command prompts.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're in the simulation, you're supposed to be a part of the simulation. You're not supposed to be able to step out of it.
Right.
So because they're real people, they can step out of it, but the algorithm gives them the ability to actually take direct control of it.
You know what? If they explained it like that, I'd have been cool. But they never did.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, there's the closest you get to an explanation is after they take the blue crystals and get out of the simulation, and they reference it calling it a blue algorithm.
Yeah.
And so I guess these different algorithms represent themselves in the simulation as crystals.
Yeah.
They just look like drugs to me.
Right. I mean that's what they was basically doing. That's why I thought, I talked about this earlier, this would have been a better movie if this was all just a drug trip.
Yeah.
You know, if the dude was just, as you said, delusional and basically wanted to forget how bad his life was.
Just high out of his mind.
Right. That would have been more of a trip than they actually going with this sci-fi premise of having them wake up, you in a simulation, da-da-da. Yeah. Oh, I got a daughter that's really been frantically looking for me and I miss her. Oh, she's not real. You know, I was like
this,
and she casually say stuff like that to people.
Yeah.
Where this is a memory. I have a memory of this person all my life.
It's not real, dude. Come on.
What you want me to tell you? It ain't real.
Let's go get some chicken. Come on.
Yeah. And it was so weird. She do weird stuff like, if you supposed to be running this show, you got powers to make things happen. Why are you getting in you look like a pimp? Why you get into that Lincoln and drive off? You know what I'm saying? That part where she's like, oh, I got to see somebody. You stay right here. And you look over there, she in somebody's car. She jump in this Lincoln and they drive off. And I think she was prostituting right there. Yeah. I mean, maybe she was doing something else. But it's just the whole point. Where she took him to her house, it was like a hobo street.
Tin Town.
Yeah, and say, oh yeah, I got a TV.
Look, I got all this. I'm not homeless. I'm living off the grid. Okay.
I'm living off the grid. That's why I was like, this would have been better if it was just crazy people that just said, hey, let's just pretend like we cool.
Yeah.
And in real life, we look like we for real bums.
If this had been about a man like slowly losing his grip on reality, getting deeper into drug abuse, and then struggling to find his way out. That would have been a great movie.
I mean, and it was kind of like that, but then they had the part in the middle, which I'm not spoiling nothing. He woke up and he's back in the real world.
Yeah.
And then once he in the real world, it's like, oh yeah, we was doing this program. We're gonna release it, but I ain't got all the data. Oh, it's cool because I ain't going back. You know, I'm good. I'm happy or whatever. And then even when they was woken up or whatever, she was still kind of a little crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, she's off. Yeah. That's why I said she miscast because her professional persona, she still felt like she was off. She's better off as the crazy
Yeah.
homeless lady.
Yeah.
The way she was acting.
I would even say they could have, like, just as a way to help bridge that gap, have different actors play him in the real world.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, whatever.
Which would have explained why they didn't recognize.
Oh my God!
each
And
other.
then, do you remember when she wanted to show, I guess, show the public her proof that her thing worked? She just had a dude say, "How you feel?" So I asked him questions before he went in. Now I'm gonna ask him questions when he get out. How's that proof?
It's not. It's not.
It's like he could just be an actor. I could pay you. I could kick you in the ass, and I give you $100 to say, "Oh, I love getting a foot in my ass." You know what I'm saying? You know, I gave you $100 to say it was good.
Hey, look. So here's before the experiment. Yeah, man, ain't nobody gonna kick my ass and make me like it. Ain't never gonna happen. After, man, I was so happy to get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Right. I've been like, well, look, let me give you this $100 so you can say what I tell you to say. That's not proof. What is that? That's stupid.
Like,
anyway.
The problem is the movie has a weak premise.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a weak premise. Is poor execution.
Poor execution. We'll say that. Like, the premise could have worked, but they didn't deliver on it for real. The movie that they were making would have been better than what they were selling. You know?
Agreed.
Like, I feel like this movie was shot for the trailer, and then they said, make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. And then we had some scenes where the simulated world was coming to the real world, which I don't get.
Yeah.
So that makes me think, are they still in the simulation? You know?
So, like,
There had to be. It's no way that the simulation can get into the real world.
So
all they had those hologram things.
Yeah.
I
so
forgot.
It's one of two things, and the movie doesn't really let you know if it's either or some mix of the two. Either they're in, like, in another simulation that looks like the real world, but is subject to the limitations of the simulation.
Yeah.
Or they're just experiencing some cognitive bleed from the simulation.
Which is okay. And then is it coming in the form of those the holograms that they had? Okay.
Yeah.
So now I just thought about that because I didn't even understand that explanation when he was like, what's these holograms with these ghost people? Oh, it's the craze. And did she ever say what the hell they were?
Telepresence. It's telepresence. People, like, are there via hologram.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess the computer, I guess the program got into the hologram.
Oh, no. Like, I think they're actually experiencing actual cognitive bleed. They are seeing things that aren't there.
Oh, it was just them.
Yeah. But their brain is making it real to them.
I thought that stuff was happening to everybody, throughout the city or whatever.
Well, like,
that's what it appeared to be. But don't try to make sense out of it.
Yeah.
You ain't got time.
So movie.
Yeah, it doesn't say I'm not gonna get into all that. But so we finally get they go back and forth through the simulation, through the real. I'm following them. I wonder what's gonna happen because he got this daughter that he's really care about, and then she, it's not real, but it's kind of one of those, which I didn't understand. Why is the computer program looking for her father after he leaves? Like frantically, I'm looking like, I guess it's just a good program. But my point is, once he get there and get back, and it's like, I didn't even feel that connection, why he would want to stay for her and all that. It's like I didn't even feel that.
Well, like, and part of that is Owen Wilson, right? When they're having these deep character moments, he's just no, it's okay, it's okay. Like, he doesn't feel invested in anything going on in this movie. He's at his most invested in this movie when he's clearly tripping balls. Yeah.
So, once the movie wrapped up, man, I was like, I'm not feeling. You didn't sell me on your emotion. You didn't sell me on why. If you make this, you got this extreme decision to make, and you ain't selling me on making the decision that I think you're going to make.
Right.
And he makes this decision. I was like, really? I wasn't so, and I was disappointed, and I was like, okay, so what happens? And we don't know, and it's just kind of like over. And then I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna give it a rate, man. I give this movie I give it a whack. The ending made me mad. I mean, it was going places that I thought was gonna be cool, but it wasn't. You know, it wasn't. It wasn't. It didn't bring it home because it felt like it had potential, and it just couldn't get there. And it felt like it was tripping over its own feet because I felt like it had ideas and things it could have used, but it just kind of jumbled them in there, you know. And so I give it a whack, man. What you give it?
I'm gonna give it a whack as well. The execution just wasn't there. I feel like this would have worked a lot better as like a short story on a TV show, or maybe I'll look forward to this being remade by someone with a little more talent, behind the camera in like 15 years.
Yeah, you're right. It just would be in like a good Twilight Zone episode or something.
Yeah.
You know, if it was short, it's over. You know, it was fun, it's over. Sometimes they don't need to make movies out of this. All right, so that's our review for BlIss. It's on it's on Prime Video on Amazon Prime. It's not that great, but it's worth to watch. You know, it's not it's not so bad that you can't watch it. But you know, it's rental status, and that's where it belongs.
Yes, indeed.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.